salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum wal'an a'da'ahum. In the name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, respected viewers, welcome to Karbala. Welcome to land of Hussein. Welcome to land of Abbas alayhi salam. May Allah bless you all, and welcome to the land of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Welcome to the live ziyarah show, which invites all of you to be za'ar of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, to send your souls and your hearts to Karbala and make your voice echo into the atmosphere of Karbala and feel yourself here amongst the za'areen of Mawla Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Once again, I'm here to give you this great opportunity to feel yourself here on the eve of Friday, on which ziyarah of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam receives and gives more blessings and thawab to the visitor. So don't miss this great ziyarah and this great moment, and call the number which is shown below the screen and let your name be written on the list of za'areen of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. I'm going to stand up on my feet and face the whole shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam on your behalf and send a humble salam to Mawla Imam Hussein and his companions. So join me and let's all together perform the first ziyarah. Assalamu alayka ya Mawlai ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Mawlai ya Ibna Rasulillah. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء سيدتي نساء العالمين. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتك. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا الفضل العباس ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا باب الحوائج إلى الله. السلام عليك يا قمر بني هاشم. السلام عليك يا ساقي العطاشة يا أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. Let's receive the first call for the first za'ar of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah, sister, you're calling Karbala once again, and your za'ar of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Please go ahead and perform your, MashaAllah. How are you, Mehdiya? I hope that you're doing well.
Alhamdulillah, we are well. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm great. Thank you so much. Sister, are you ready for performing your ziyarah, inshallah?
Yes, sure.
So
Sure, brother.
please go ahead and perform your ziyarah, inshallah, and keep us in your dua.
Absolutely,
MashaAllah,
inshallah.
please go ahead.
Jazakallah. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. محمد وجی السلام علیکم یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیکم یا امیر المؤمنین و سید الوصیین، السلام علیکم یا فاطمہ الزہرا سیدۃ النساء العالمین، السلام علیکم یا خدیجۃ الکبریٰ، السلام علیکم یا حسن مجتبی، السلام علیکم یا ابا عبداللہ الحسین وعلی الذی حلت بفنائک، علیکم منی جمیع سلام اللہ ابدا ما بقیت واللیل والنہار ولا جہل آخر العہد منی لزیارتکم، سمول الحسین وعلی علی ابن الحسین وعلی اولاد الحسین وعلی اصحاب الحسین وعلی اخیک الحسین وعلی اختک الحسین وعلی ام البنین وعلی تسۃ المعصومین من ذریتک الحسین، علی ابن الحسین و محمد ابن علی و جعفر ابن محمد و موسیٰ ابن جعفر و علی ابن موسیٰ و محمد ابن علی و علی ابن محمد و الحسن ابن علی، السلام علیکم ایھا العبد الصالح مطیع للہ ولرسولہ ولامیر المؤمنین حسن الحسین، السلام علیکم یا ابو الفضل عباس ابن امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیکم یا سقائے سکینہ، السلام علیکم یا سقائے العشاء، یا کاشف الکرب وجہ الحسین علیہ السلام، اکشف کرب بحق یدیک الحسین علیہ السلام، السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، السلام علیکم یا صاحب العصر والزمان، الامان الامان من فتنة الزمان، السلام علیکم خلیفۃ الرحمن، السلام علیکم امام الانس والجان، اجل اللہ فرجک وسہل اللہ مخرجک وسرورک، السلام علیکم اہل البیت النبوہ امۃ الوصال جمیع رحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ، اللہم صلی علی محمد وعلی محمد وجل فرجہ مولانا
MashaAllah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajum. Thank you so much, sister, for your ziyarah, for your dua. May Allah bless you, and inshallah, soon you can be here in Karbala, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah, ilahi ameen. We're just waiting. We are just waiting, brother.
Ilahi amin, ilahi amin. May Allah bless you.
Longest wait of our lives.
Yeah, sister, tomorrow is the first day of the month of Safar, and it's the month in which the household of Imam Hussein alayhi salam reach Sham. They
Yes,
enter Sham, yeah, at the beginning of Safar they enter Sham, and
Yes.
Allah Akbar, Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, when they ask him that what part of all this tragedy was the hardest part for you, he three times says, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham, Ash-Sham. Allah Akbar, what happened to the household of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, to those great ladies who were kept as captives to the Sham? I don't know, but for sure it was very hard that Imam Sajjad alayhi salam says that Sham was the hardest station for their journey to that place, to Yazid. May Allah curse him. So, and the month of Safar, actually, it reminds us to the ziyarah of Arba'in, and it is just known, you know, it's better to say that it is mostly known as the ziyarah of Arba'in.
بسم الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله أشهد أن عليا حجة الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح حي على خير العمل حي على خير العمل الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله وسلم
to Sham. So what other experiences they may have had, perhaps we haven't even been told of what experiences they may have. And I've always pondered on this, what level of trauma they must have had. When we talk about the death of Bibi Sakina in Sham, in the Zindan, in the prison, this was a child who had seen the greatest level of trauma.
Yes.
And not only the witnessing of her family being massacred, her baby brother being massacred, her beloved uncle, her brothers, her father, everyone that was dear to her, everyone she knew. There was also the trauma of hunger and thirst. There was the trauma of the beatings and the burning of the tents, and seeing all of that. Sometimes when we see images of children who've been rescued in Syria after bombings and things like that, you see how shell-shocked they are.
Yeah, it's really a shocking picture when you see children in that situation, and when one can imagine that the household of Imam Hussein Assam could be in this.
Trauma, and
Allah.
that is the first thing that comes to my mind whenever I see these images. That surely what Bibi Sakina, Imam Bakir was just a child and just a toddler.
Allah.
And yet they witnessed and narrated their witnessing and what they must have gone through, and we forget about that, and we forget that at the end of the day, they were human beings who felt emotion.
Sure.
Yes, there were the Ahlul Bayt and there were the Masum and Masumeen, but they were also humans like this who went through every emotion that humans go through.
Yeah.
The grief, the pangs of hunger, the trauma and everything, the lack of sleep as well. When I've heard when Bibi Sakina was made to walk,
Allah.
tied to Imam Zainul Abidin, and she would fall asleep walking, she would be lashed to be woken up. And to do that to whether she was 4 years old or 6 year old or however old she was still a child.
Yeah.
And to do that, and then witnessing people asking for her as a
La ilaha
slave in the
illallah.
court
La
of
ilaha
Yazid,
illallah.
you know? What a child must go through, the fear that she must have felt in those moments.
Yeah.
And,
Allahu Akbar.
you know, with her father's head then, it's... This is why the month of Safar is called the month of
Yeah,
calamities.
the Safar al-Ahzan, exactly.
Yes.
Allahu Akbar.
And we should never forget that. And, you know, I always feel a sense of heaviness whenever the month of, perhaps more than in Muharram, when the month of Safar comes, I always feel a sense of heaviness in the atmosphere around, you know. And I always say to Mahdiya as well, you know, you need to continue praying more in the month of Safar. You need to recite the dua that's supposed to protect us, but don't forget the Ahlul Bayt, don't forget, you know, what they went through, and don't forget Bibi Sakina and Imam Zainul Abidin and Imam Hassan as well. I mean, we don't only have the tragedy of the Ahlul Bayt there, we have the tragedy that began with Imam Hassan and his, you know, denial of a dignified burial as a Muslim. Okay, forget everything aside that he was part of the Ahlul Bayt. And everything else, but the fact that he was a Muslim as well, yet there were those who dared to even shoot an arrow when the Prophet had said to them, even if you see the funeral of a Jew or a Christian, was he not a human? You must stand. Sure. And afford them that respect.
Sister, I would like to, I'm sorry for cutting you, I'm sorry for interrupting you. I hear you just mentioned that you teach and you tell Mahdiya that in this month, in the month of Safar, you need to keep weeping and crying for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That was just my question. I just wanted to see that you as residents in a European country, in the UK, and most of the other Shia Muslims who are living in the European countries or the American countries, how do you behave, or how do you teach your kids about the month of Safar? Because the month of Muharram, everything is clear. You know, it's the battle of the Karbala and those Husayniyas and, you know, everything. But for the month of Safar, especially the captives, they are going to the Sham and then returning back to Karbala on feet, and which is just Ziyarah Arba'in and the other things. How do you make this more tangible to your children?
Okay, I'll let Mahdiya answer that. I'm going to let her answer that.
Yeah, sure.
This will be my test.
Yeah, that would be great. Just let's listen from a real learner about this situation, that how she feels about Safar and the things which has happened in this month for Ahlul Bayt, please.
Okay, so we start watching TV, like entertainment programs until Rabi'a al-Awwal. So and usually our rain usually falls on school days. So well, I still have to go to school because usually it's my exam time. But what I do is my friends, I just tell them like, I'm not really going to do this with you today because it's a religious day for me, and they say, oh, that's okay, and I try my best not to like smile or laugh on that day. And
So, what would you do in the month of Safar?
Usually, in Safar, I like to make crafts for Safar. Like this year, I made the raining blood for Aliasker.
She likes to make little art.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she said like, she makes crafts and the other things. Yeah. But Mahdiya, my question is that how did you learn about all these things? And you, as you said that you are 12 years old, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, you're as a 12-year-old kid, lady, let's say. How do you feel when you hear about the tragedy of Karbala and Safar and what happened to Bibi Zainab Salamullah alayha in Sham in front of the Yazid, which was a usurper, which was an oppressor, and all the torture that the household of Imam Hussein alayhi salam had to bear just in order to safeguard Islam and send the message of Islam and the martyrdom of Imam Hussein alayhi salam to the whole world. Because, you know, the way that you may understand this may differ exactly and completely from the way that the adult Muslims understand it. I just would like to hear it from your own experience, that how you feel about this. Tell me your own words, your own feelings about it.
So usually I'm hearing all the tragedies that happened on Ashura, happened on Irvine, before Irvine. Usually it just melts my heart, and I mourn and cry a lot.
Yeah. Do you cry about the most? Which personality affected you the
Definitely.
most?
Bibi Ruqayya.
Bibi Ruqayya.
Allah.
Yes.
Who we call Bibi Sakina in Indian and Pakistani culture, no?
Yeah.
Why do you tell Uncle about the time when you watched the play and how you felt that day?
When was that?
When we went to Husainia?
With
the play?
So usually, so there's the they on Bibi Ruqayya's Shahadat. Our mosque commemorates it. A few years ago, I went to the mosque for that commemoration, and basically, they did lectures, some recitations, and there was also a little play about Ashura and before Irvine, and I was crying the whole time.
Allah.
Even though I couldn't understand it because it was in Urdu, I could just see what was going on.
And Mehdiya was one of the children who was perhaps crying the most on that day, and she was pointed out to me by a couple of the alimas that were there. That they were sitting, and they because they were sitting there watching her. She was near the front, and the way she was crying, I've never seen Mehdiya cry like that. And it was pure mourning and pure lamentation. Yeah. And afterwards, you know, I just held her, and she was a lot younger. She was about 8 or 9 years old then.
I was 7.
You were 7. She was about 7 years old when we went, and it struck me that this child has imbibed so much at that time, and I was just giving shukr to Allah. And I think even now, Mehdiya, why don't you talk about
I would like to, I don't know if it's okay. I would like to tell you something, Mehdi. I would like to ask you something. You know, you for sure have heard about this, this narration from Imam Hassan alayhi salam, who said to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, "La yawm ka yawmuka ya Aba Abdullah." There is no day just like yours, O brother Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, which means that the tragedy of Karbala and the way that Imam Hussein alayhi salam was martyred is of a great and huge pain, and it's really painful. It's really painful. But my question is that what makes it the most painful event and tragedy in the world? I would like just to give you an example. Let's imagine that there are two people who are taking the same kind of torture, the same kind of pain, okay? And, okay, can you say that, okay, both of them, seeing and looking at both of them has got the same effect on one's heart, or are painful just the same as they are just being tortured the same way? Or no, there is a difference between looking at this person or the other person. And what is this difference? I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about and what I mean exactly.
Do you want Uncle to
Can
explain it a bit
can you
more?
tell me, what makes the difference here? Which one is more painful and why? If you have two people, you watch two people being tortured, which one makes your heart feel sad more and why? I'm not mentioning these people, but I just want to see what's your answer, and then I'm going to give you a hint.
Do you understand the question?
No, not
No,
really.
not really. She's not too sure about.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. You're not,
I think it's
now
not
I'm gonna
it's
give
not
you a hint. Yeah,
for her.
sure, because this question is a little bit tricky. I'm gonna give you a question, okay? Imagine you've got two people. Both of them are, let's say, 50 years old, okay? So both of them are kind of, middle-aged or kind of like old man, okay? One of them is a very, very kind person. When you look at him, he's just like a father. He takes care of all the people. He never tells lie. He is just very righteous, and he's a very truthful person. And he is a very helpful person to anybody. And the other guy, the other person, I don't want to say that he's a criminal, but he's an ordinary person. He's just like an ordinary person, like all the other guys, with lots of faults, lots of sins, and maybe he has also done something good in his life, but he's just like a normal person. But the other one, the first one, is really pure. It's just like a person who have helped you several times, and who has helped everyone who needs help. So both of them are being tortured the same way. Which one is more painful for you if you see that they are being tortured? Which one makes your heart feel more in pain? The first one or the second one?
Well, usually, we
Don't think too much about it. Who would make you feel more pain? Okay, the first one, who's the pure person. The second one, who's a normal person.
the first one.
The first
The
one.
first one. The first one. Look, let me just make it just another way. Let's imagine your mother. Your mother who loves you. Your mother who sacrificed everything for you, okay? And another lady who is not just like an okay lady, just a normal lady. And you see both of them in pain. For whom does your heart feel more painful? For your mom or for the other lady?
My mom.
For sure your mom. Why? Because you know your mom. Because you know how kind she is to you. Huh? And the pain that you feel because of your mom, because seeing your mom being in a trouble is greater, is way greater than the pain that you may feel because of seeing the other people being in pain.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Now,
Yes.
as you said, yes, Imam Hussein alayhi salam is the greatest person, the greatest individual on the planet Earth, who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent him to guide people, to help people. He never ever bothered anyone, and he was all trying to help the other people. Not only the people who he know, but he was also helping those who he didn't know, or people who didn't know him. So now
Can
when
I just add something here?
yeah, sure, please.
He was also trying to help those who were trying to kill him as well.
Indeed.
Right
Yeah.
until the last moment.
So now, looking such a person being tortured, can you tell me how painful is it? Do you feel what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying, Mehdiya?
Yes.
He's just even greater and closer to everyone as his father. He's even closer to you as your real father or your real mother, because he's more kind than your father and mother to you. So such a person, when he has been tortured and bothered and killed and martyred, his musibah, this calamity, will be the greatest calamity for the whole world, because this person is kind to the whole world. That's why Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says, La yawm ka yawmuka ya Aba Abdullah.
Yeah.
So the
She's
greatness,
becoming very tearful now.
Allahu Akbar. So the greatness, I just want to emphasize on this, the greatness of the calamity, the greatness of musibah, the greatness of this tragedy is not only because of the way that they did everything to Imam Hussein alayhi salam, which is also great and heartbreaking. It's because of the greatness of Imam Hussein alayhi salam himself. Because Imam Hussein alayhi salam was great. So if we cry, if we do cry for Imam Hussein, if we do weep for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, we weep because we have lost, the whole universe lost the most pure and perfect person on the planet Earth in that year.
You know, brother, you've just reminded me of something. Earlier on, you know, I see a lot of you know, people from other sects mentioning the Ahlul Bayt,
Yeah.
and talking about the fact that they were let down by the Kufans, or Imam Hussein was let down by the Kufans, or Bibi Fatima was, you know, the purest woman, and the Prophet ﷺ would always ensure that he saw her last if he was leaving to go anywhere on an expedition, and the first person to see would be Bibi Fatima, because, you know, he loved her so much, he would all of that. Yet these people deny the fact that, you know, Bibi Fatima died angry, and Rasulullah ﷺ said that, you know, Fatima is a part of me. Whosoever angers her angers me. Whosoever angers me angers Allah. And the fact that she died angry with them, and denied them the opportunity of being at her janaza, and even knowing where her grave was, and asked her beloved husband Mawla Ali alayhi salam to bury her in the dark of the night away from their eyes. Yet they, you know, what really gets to me is the fact that they acknowledge that, oh yeah, you know, Bibi Fatima was great, the Prophet loved her so much, or Imam Hussein was great, the Prophet used to always hug and kiss him, and you know, there's the narrations by even Abu Huraira, you know, for crying out loud, that say, you know, oh, whenever Hassan Hussein used to run into the mosque, the Prophet would stop his lectures, he would stop his khutbah, alight himself from the minbar, and grab them in his arms and kiss them and hug them, place them in his lap, and then continue. And he would always do that. It's, you know, it's a known thing, and this is how. And he would say, they are a part of me. Yeah. They are part of my soul. Yeah. And I love them, and whosoever loves me should love them.
Yeah, Hussein. Yeah, that's sure. So that's why the tragedy of Imam Hussein was a great tragedy. The Ahlul Bayt. Ahlul Bayt are the greatest ever, you know. Sister, thank you so much. Please.
No, yet they deny. I mean, I came across another video today where a Salafi preacher, cleric. I don't want to call them scholars because they haven't learned anything. But a cleric was sitting there, and he was actually talking about the 12 Imams, according to the narrations in Sahih al-Bukhari and the Quran, saying, oh yeah, these are the 12. And he mentions them according to the manner in which the Khilafah took place, with you know, culminating in the Bani Umayyads, going up to, starting with the first and ending with I think it was Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, and he mentions Imam Hassan in between, and he says, well, he goes, if we count Imam Hassan in, his Khilafah was only 6 months.
Allah, so they just forget about Imam Hassan alayhi salam, just to make 12 Imams out of Bani Umayyah. Yeah, I know.
And that would make 13. So we need to take him out to make the 12, so that it's in line with him. And he mentions Yazid.
Allahu Akbar.
The anger that I felt that, you know, he's being mentioned in the 12.
No, they are just fabricating. They are just trying to fabricate, you know, the history, the reality. Unfortunately, Allah Allah has entered Ahl al-Bayt into Imama and Khilafah. So who is this person, this individual, to take them out or in?
It's
So,
absolutely laughable just watching this clip, and
yeah, unfortunately.
I can't believe the lengths that they're actually going to nowadays, especially, and they do it more during these 2 months.
Yeah, because they want to
Yeah.
attract the attention of the people towards
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
Allahu
I
Akbar.
do
Sister, thank you
think
so much. You know, I took lots of your time, and you know, you just had a very great conversation. I think that we had a very great conversation.
Mehdi just wants to say something
Yeah,
very
sure.
quickly.
Please, Mahdia, please.
So, I saw this video of a girl revealing that she's Shia, and then all the comments were like saying, "Oh, do you have a thief? Huh? No." And then I saw one of the comments said, "Oh, Ya Ali can't murdered," and I was like, "Huh?"
Yeah, there's a growing effort of sectarian hate against Shias now, as well in the West and in Pakistan as well.
Allah.
So it's becoming more and more apparent on social media.
And
Allah.
I'm even getting hate in school because I'm Shia. And how did they find out I'm Shia? I never told anyone. Like, did my friend who knows I'm Shia betray me and tell them?
Is that what you think?
Yeah, because
does it bother you though?
No.
No.
And I said and they said, "Madia, are you a Shia?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Do you hate yourself?" And I was like, "No, I don't hate myself. I mourn, and it's called Madam. Please don't judge me."
You know, okay, just you know, let me just mention something. For those who you know, recently, the doctors have revealed an information that when you beat your chest, okay, when you beat your chest, you help your lungs and you help the blood to circulate around your lungs better than before. You help your lungs to receive more, you know, food, more proteins and the other things that they need from the blood, okay? So that is even more helpful for our lungs. And when lungs get more power, they get more food, they can work better and they can just pump more oxygen into the blood, and the blood can better take the oxygen to the brain, and it helps the whole system, the whole blood circulation of the human being, you know. So it is also accepted. And by the way, as I said, yeah. But by the way, you said that we mourn for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's way better. Unfortunately, I don't want to compare it with these things which are happening these days, but it's way better than going to the streets and just being just like, you know, those people who don't know which gender they are, those who are trying to change their personalities based on those, you know, creepy and stupid, you know, things. So come on.
Oh God, yes.
What? Yeah,
Mehdi has a massive problem with that.
you already know what I'm talking about. You already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What do you people have? Why do you people have problem with Shia Muslims who echo the peace and great things into the world out of Ahl al-Bayt ajma'in's narrations?
The funny thing is, brother, that you mentioned this. We see the other sects actually pandering to those trends and those agendas, and you know, and saying, you know, oh, we need to tolerate, we need to accept it, and you know,
How?
and
Why? Why should we accept people who are morally sick?
Morally reprehensible, yes, absolutely.
Why? Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Thank you so much, sister, for attending this communication, for attending this conversation. And inshallah,
It was such a valuable lesson from Hadiya as well. I think she's going to be taking back a lot and learning a lot today, aren't she?
Sure.
Inshallah.
These days, unfortunately, the righteous and the truth has been, you know, is attacked by Satan and by devil, by evil. So we need to know how to protect our beliefs by logic, and by brain, by thinking truly and giving true reasons and good and great and powerful reasons to those who don't know. You know, most of the people who just are against, I believe in it, most of the people who are against Islam or Tashayyu, you know, they don't know anything about it. They are, what do we
Yes.
call it? They are jahil. What do we call it in English?
That's ignorant.
They are ignorant. Yeah, I just forgot the word. They are really ignorant people. They have no
They
idea about
really
Islam.
are.
So when you
And they still believe the myths and the misconceptions that have been spread throughout time. You know, the silly misconceptions. and
Sister, I'm receiving
beliefs.
another call from another Zara from Hussein, so I would like to give them the chance of ziyarah, but that was a very great conversation. We can have it, inshallah, in the other nights, inshallah. Thank you so much, and labbaik ya Hussein. Ya Abu Abdullah. Now I'm receiving another call from another Zara from Hussein. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you so much.
MashaAllah. Sister, you're calling Karbala. This is Welcome to Karbala. I'm sorry, I was talking to another respected viewer. So right now you've got the opportunity to be Zara from Hussein alayhi salam. Please go ahead and perform your ziyarah. MashaAllah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah. MashaAllah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sister, for your ziyarah. May Allah bless you, and labbaik ya Hussein. MashaAllah. Do you hear me, sister?
Yeah, I do.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah. May Allah bless you. Labbaik ya Hussein, sister. We don't have that much time. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
May Allah bless you. Labbaik ya Hussein. Ya Abu Abdullah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Ya Abu Abdullah, Ya Hussein ibn Ali. I'm receiving another call. Let's just give the chance of ziyarah from Hussein to another. So, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, brother. You're calling Karbala. We don't have that much time. So if you would like to perform ziyarah, please take your time. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum ya Ali ibn Abi Talib. Assalamu alaikum ya Hassan ibn Ali. Assalamu alaikum ya Hussein ibn Ali. Assalamu alaikum ya Ali ibn Hussein. Assalamu alaikum ya Muhammad ibn Ali. Assalamu alaikum ya Ja'far ibn Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum ya Musa ibn Ja'far. Assalamu alaikum ya Ali ibn Musa al-Rida. Assalamu alaikum Muhammad ibn Ali. Assalamu alaikum Ali ibn Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum Hassan ibn Ali. Assalamu alaikum Hujjatullah ibn al-Hassan. Muhammad ibn Hassan alayhi salam.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Thank you so much, brother, for your ziyarah. May Allah bless you, and labbaik ya Hussein.
لبيك يا
لبيك يا حسين يا أبا Abdullah. My dear brothers and sisters, respected viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. May Allah bless you all, and inshallah soon all of you be able to be here in Karbala amongst the Za'irina of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Thank you for tuning in, and لبيك يا حسين.
Our duty of care towards parents, siblings, friends, and family does not end with their death. Rather, we have a duty to pray for their forgiveness and to continue our kindness by conveying rewards to them by reciting Surah Al-Fatiha.